Can we lower the head a little bit?
Yep. Yeah.
Away from the light so that the light is not too much. I think it's more of an angle. If you face it flat against the light, it reflects a lot of light. Yeah, I tilt it more.
Still very right.
No, I think it's more an angle how you hold the head.
Well, never mind. I think I just bring it around.
Are you gonna let them?
Yeah, just bring it around.
Pass it around
Yes, just pass it around first.
before you start the next.
Yes, correct.
지금 방금 여태까지 친한 그 머리를요 한번 보시고요. 다음 다 보시고 난 다음에 다음 스텝으로 넘어갈게요. Need some water? Sorry? Need some water?
Not why don't I ask them to stand around me, behind me, and then I just like go this way.
What is it about the camera? Sitting.
No, I mean just a few guys just come over. I think it's just a small group here, so it's okay.
페인팅 하는 거를 화면으로 안 보시고 직접 보시고 싶으신 분들은 테이블 가까이
Yeah,
오시고
if we put it this way, then you know. You just move. Actually, the best view is on the back there, so you can see how I paint and how I handle. So I'll move. What I'll do is I'll move slower a bit. You can see the lighting here. So where we are at right now is somewhere around here. So we are somewhere around at this point stage now. This stage. So you can see the progression, the transitions from this stage down to this stage. See? So you can see that from here, on the left, you can see from the first preliminary highlight, first highlight, then second highlight, and then the third highlight, we do some color correction here. And then gradually, if we want, we can enhance the tones of the cheeks and the eye back. So we are somewhere around in between this stage now. So you guys can pass around. So we'll try and move towards here now. Yeah. So it's very quick. You can see how you can really know how to apply the color. See. So you always have to remember. You take the paint, you load, unload, and you test to see the colors. You can see that the transition here is actually very soft. You can see it's very soft. You see. Once you start to build up, wait for it to dry, and you build again and again and again, and this is how you build up the tones and see the colors here. So it's like 10%, 20%, 30%, which is just how you stack. Okay, so maybe just show you the problem with hand loading the brush is that you take too much like this, and then you apply and it starts to run all over the place. Okay, two problems is that paint is too thick, and the paint is too much water. Okay, too much water and the paint is too thick, and this is very difficult for you to get that soft effect once you have, you can see that. So the thing is that to drain first, add the water. You can see it's very thin, but the moment you take this paint and apply, it starts to run all over the place and you've got a problem. So what you need to do is always unload like this. You can see the paint, when you apply the paint, it's very smooth. You see, look at that, it's very smooth. Very light, very smooth. So I can be very bold. I can just paint it in like this. See that? And when it dries, it's very soft. See? So if I want to get more effect, I can even add red. Okay? If I take solid red like this and I apply, you can see it's very thick. Yes. Oh, thank you. It's very thick. So solution is to take away the paint like that, and you test it first. And when you paint, you have to always lift the paint, go down and lift up, very light. You know, like calligraphy, like Chinese. You know, when you do calligraphy, you have to paint all this. You have to have the control. So it's the same thing also with the brush. When you start to do painting like this, you have to have the control. Very light, and then you can put red, very light, you see. And if it's too strong, you can just immediately add water. Another way to do is use your breath. The whole thing is very moist, so you can actually use a bit of blending. You see that? And tone can start to spread. You can see using my breath. I take solid color, I apply. You can see it's like an airbrush, it starts to open up a bit. You see, it starts to spread. You see? So that's the thing with using acrylic. You can use it's water-based. And when it dries, you can see that you can get very quick results. There's no smell. You save a lot of money because you use water. Yeah. See? And it's very friendly, there's no smell. Your children can be running around there. You can still paint, and it's very friendly. And that's why the Spanish, they like it so much. So even if you're you want to apply very strong colors, white color. Oh. Okay, good. Okay, the reason you can see I'm shaking like this is because the paint is at the bottom. So when you hit here, okay, when you squeeze it out, you can see it's very thick, right? Because you can see that some parts of the paint actually separates into two parts. You can see here's a very clear, and the transfer, so you hit it. Squeeze it out, it becomes much thicker. Right. So you can see if I can use white. Okay, very strong color. Okay, if you apply it on like this, you can see how strong it is. You see that? It's white, but you can still use it for contrast. Okay, same thing. Take white, add water, dilute it. Again, you don't do it like this, because when you do it like this, it starts to run all over the place and it's very difficult to control. So you always have to take up the drain, very light, you see that? See? and I can just start to apply highlight like this, very